Hi guys, so I'm going to show you today how to glaze your turtles. So we have these colors that look kind of boring here, but they're not going to be boring when they go in the kiln. So this color here is actually going to be my shell color. It's going to look more like this. So it's a bluey, purpley green, and like I said, I'm going to use it as a shell, and I'm going to use a more normal, not so colorful color for the body. So this is just a gray with a little bit of purple in it, which I really love. So we're going to share with the person next to us. We can either start with our feet, head, and arms, or we can start with the shell. So our head, our arms, our feet, and our tail are all going to be painted one color, and our shell is going to be painted another color. Make sure every time before you go to pick your color, you stir it up very, very nicely. We're not going to go crazy stirring it because we don't want it to splatter all over the place, and we do not want it to mix with the color next to it. So what we're going to do is get enough of our color, mix it up really well, and then wipe the side of the brush off into our little bowl. That way we don't have too much on our brush. Okay, so now I'm going to start painting the legs, the arms, and the tail. What I want to make sure I do is that I don't glob it on and that I don't paint the bottom. So I'm only painting the top of the legs and the top of the face, the top of the arms, because if I paint the bottom, it could get stuck in the kiln, because remember, glazes melt and almost become like glass in the kiln. So we need to make sure that it's not on the bottom so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the kiln. See how every time I pick up my brush I'm stirring it again? That's because I want to make sure all these really cool things that are inside this glaze that make it turn into all these fun colors get picked up. If I don't stir it, it could look gray and I could miss the particles in it that turn it green or purple. So I want to make sure that I stir it every time. And again, I'm just very, very gently painting over my arms, my legs, and my face. I'm not getting the shell yet because someone else is using this color right now. And when it's my turn to use that color, I can use it for the shell. I also want to make sure that I always use 2 to 3 layers of these colors. Do you notice how it looks kind of see-through right now? I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to put it closer to the camera so you can see. It looks kind of see-through right now, so I have to go back later and add another coat. This is telling me that it's dry. Do you see how that looks almost whitish now? When it's whitish, that means I can go for another layer. But I have to wait for these to dry before I can do one more layer or coat of that paint. Again, swirling my brush around, wiping off the excess, picking it up to paint my legs and my tail. Now, while all my face, tail, arms, and legs are drying, I can do my first layer of glaze on the shell. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right back in here for someone else to use that I'm sharing with, or you can put it on your tray because you're going to have a tray. Now I'm going to pick up this color for the shell of my turtle. So again, stirring it up really nicely, wiping off the excess very gently, then painting on the shell, making sure I kind of go like this if it's not going into the cracks very well, because we do want to make sure all of our beautiful texture and design shows up and has glaze on it. So we poke, 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 poke when we want it to go inside the cracks of our texture. I do want to paint the whole shell. Not the bottom of it, but I do want to paint the sides. So I'm going to make sure I get the sides. Boop, boop. I get all the sides. So this is a very long process that requires patience. That's why we are going to continue working on it for the rest of the week. We're not going to freak out if we don't get it done today because we have 2 more days to do this. So we're going to make sure we really take our time and work hard so that our turtle will look amazing. So again, any guesses what I do after this, after I paint my first layer on my shell? Guesses as to what I do next? That's right. I'm going to do another layer on the head, the arms, the legs, and the tail. Swirl, 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 do my next layer, and you repeat this process until you've done 3 layers on the head, the feet, the arms, the tail, and then on the shell as well. So you're just really going back and forth on all these to make sure you do enough layers, and you're gently painting it with your glaze, and you're sharing nicely. So while I'm working on my head, face, tail, arms, my friend next to me will be working on their shell. Okay, good luck guys.